Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming some 2D4X again, like always. I might stream some Hex Demon. I don't know. I'm burned out. I think it's. I was trying to figure out, like, why am I so burned out lately? It's because I'm back to the 5-day work week. My end of year extra vacation time usage thing is over, and now I gotta just work like a normal human. And I'm tired of working, and like 15 years till retirement. Like, who wants? I mean, everybody wants it, but like, it should be 50. I'm ready to retire now. Too much work. Anyways, what are we going to work on today? So, last time when we were messing around with this, when I was messing around with this, gotta wait for this thing to start. I noticed that this was doing some weird shit. And it's just this there's a thing where if there's more than one token, it's supposed to stack up, and it's never really worked how I wanted it to. And it worked when I had it on Unity, but it was probably quite fragile because this is so fucking fragile. I forgot to click this thing. There's a thing I gotta click over here when I start my stream, and I didn't do it. Now I've done it. There's no click feedback, so I can never tell if I've done it. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this. Let's restart this. I just want to see if the old thing we wrote is even working. Because that is one of the things we're going to change. So basically right now, if we go to this guy and we turn him into an army leader, Julie Reed here should have this little gun and stuff. And then we should be able to declare war. And then this should bounce them down to here. So that is still working. Wind, how's it going? How was your evening? I was up late last night. It's funny, I that I saw you last night. Saw you chat last night because I was up video gaming it up. Some days you got to do it. It makes me feel like a kid again when I'm able to play video games till like 3 a.m. I've mentioned this in the past that like when I turned like 49, 48, 49, I started, my body went back to wanting to eat like bologna sandwiches and stay up all night playing video games. It's kind of a bummer that it's not conductive when you have a job. Anyway, so this still works, but what I was thinking before I started streaming, this is going to be the war thing. So this is going to be like your leader and then the other leader. Well, you're going to want to change this to be the unselected token, though. And you might notice these are the same token. They would hopefully be different at some point. Right now, this is just all test stuff. Everything is prototype shit. Anyway, so I was thinking, I think we should have this on top. And then, I wish, not long. And then I get those like, Social Security letters. So they send you in the United States, you pay into Social Security for your whole life, and then you can retire, and you get that, and then you most likely have like 401k or something. And so then when it says how much money you've saved, and you can log into a website and you can look at your retirement for both your Social Security, which is the government thing, and then you can look at your 401k. And so I get these letters like once a year that are like, hey, check out your Social Security, how much money you've made. And then I look and it's like $7. And I'm like, $7? How am I going to save? How am I going to live off that? And then I look at my 401k and it's like $19. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to survive. I'm obviously exaggerating, but it just doesn't feel like enough ever. I'm lucky because I own a house. If I didn't own a house, it would be even worse. It would be all I got to do is pay taxes on my house, and that's it. So anyways, I think we should move this to the top. So the wars will be at the top, and then we'll have 2 rows visiting armies and visiting heroes, but then we'll have like a line in the middle. On the right will be your guys, and on the left will be any visiting people from different factions. So that's what we're going to start work on today. We're going to move this to the top first. It's also messed up. It's not supposed to be touching this thing. because I changed the size of this since then. So that's what we're going to work on. I don't think we're going to be able to get all that done. We're going to toss out the token stacking completely. But this first part, we can just move to the top. That shouldn't be the end of the world. It's probably going to be the end of the world. So here's our county scene. And we're going to have to regenerate with our map editor here at times. Let's turn on our battle control here. And let's just move it somewhere. What buttons am I thinking of here? This is just attached to this overlay, which I was hoping to see a box, but no box today. That's okay. Did I manually set this shit? It seems like that I would not do that, but maybe I did. Let's take a look here. I did manually set it. It also looks like we want this to be not this way. What am I looking for here? We're ignoring click-throughs. We shouldn't. This isn't a button? No, it is a button. We do want to ignore the click-throughs. I want to go to... Oh yeah, we do want this to expand, but I want this thing to be centered. That doesn't help me. And it's like I said, I'm burned out. I don't know why I'm printing or printing. I can't even say the word programming. The size is right. Scale. Where the fuck is this thing? I know I've done this before. Like I should have done some programming last night to warm up my brain. On my other game, I'm just to this tedious part that I just keep putting off. I just wish. So I was talking about AI. I wish that I could just tell the AI, like, look, this is, like Chat GPT. This is what I want. Just write this shit. I don't want to write it. I'm too lazy. But it doesn't work that way. There we go. So that's the top though. Why is that the top? It just took a bit for my brain to go. So we're going to want this to go higher, though. Let's just, what's negative 50 look like? That's way too high. We're going to want this to like negative 30. Okay, negative 40. That's fine. That will be fine. So then let's hit play. Oh, except that we can't do that. We can't hit play. Play's not going to do what we want to do. We're going to stop this. We're going to go back up here. We're going to go in here and delete these things. And then we're going to go to the map editor. We're going to hit play. Whoops. We're not going to do that either. We're going to hit play this scene. We're going to hang out and wait. And then we're going to generate the counties, because we fucked with this county scene, which is like our thing here. So that is how we want it. I didn't mean to have that turned on, but it's fine. This is how we want the counties to be generated. Let's turn off this thing. And then, well, actually, let's leave it on for a second. So the next one we're going to have on the bottom, we're going to need two of them. We're gonna put a control. I was thinking maybe I'll just we will reuse this to a point. We're gonna duplicate this, and we're gonna call this visiting heroes. Do we want the heroes and then the armies? I think we want armies first. See, that's the problem. Well, what we'll do is we'll do a V box. And we'll turn, visiting armies, and then we're going to have we'll do the visiting armies first. Then we'll go back to this thing. We'll put this at the top, which is the bottom for some reason. Then we're going to make this not say Control 2. And then we're going to go to here. And we're going to go transform. 30, I think we did. No. 40. 40 is too much. 40 is going to be too much. Yeah. Let's do 20. That looks pretty good. All right, so we have this panel. We're gonna need another V box though. This is gonna get quite convoluted. But I'm used to the convolution. That's what it's really called. It's called convolution. It's not at this point. So let's put this at the bottom, which is the top, and we're gonna stick. This thing has to be a certain size, a minimum size. What was this other one? We kind of want these to match, but not 100%, because it's going to be impossible. That was 20 by 100. I'm in the wrong spot. Though, actually, it works. And then let's duplicate this to see if we get 2 of them. That is what we want. So let's go back to this, though, VBox container, and this is where we'll set the transform of, what was that, 20? Okay. So now we're going to have the combat controls up here. So when there's war, it'll be on the bottom, and then we're going to have these 2 things, which I guess we're going to instantiate these 2 things. They'll be the same but different. Well, no, we won't instantiate them. We'll just turn them on and off. So this one is going to be here. We have the H box. What we want in here, though, is the morale we don't need. And this one we don't need. And then we have these different texture racks, which we do want these. So these things we might instantiate, these texture racks. But they're not going to be a texture rack. They're going to be a button that you can click on to select your hero. So let's put a button in here instead. And then we'll deal with the chaos this causes. And we'll make 2 buttons, actually. Now we'll do one first. So the button size, we're going to go to layout here and do a minimum size of, what is this thing, 20 by 20. So then we got a square. I wonder if that's big enough, because I don't want it to be tiny, so you're like really trying to click on it, but I guess we should worry about that later. What can we put in this button thing? So we can put an icon, and that's what we need. Probably an image texture at some point. And let's duplicate this. Let's delete this one. Delete this one. And then I think with this H box, or maybe I did it with this button has to go as well. Okay, we want to get rid of this background too. And I think, where did I fuck with that? Texture, material. Like I said, I should have done like some warm-up programming to just get my brain working again. I can't remember where this shit is. It's not under that. It's not under that. It could, oh, it's under this. I'm looking on the wrong thing. We want to do panel can theme override. I thought I did. I was able just to turn. Aha. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. We just want this shit off. There we are. So then we want this shit centered. We don't want it. I wonder why this is. Oh, it's because there's a panel container in here. We don't want a panel container, actually. We just want it to be like this. I don't think we want that. Then this thing is just set up wrong. Whoops. We want it centered, but that isn't it. That isn't right. It's these things, I think. I gotta, like I said, I'm going. Joker. That's what we're doing. We're actually doing part of that. This is partial restarting of. We're rewriting this whole stack, this hero stacking bullshit that just never worked, and my brain is barely working right now for some reason. You know, it's Saturday. I guess I was whining about working 5 days a week earlier too. So that's an important key thing. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. I think I want shrink center. Where the fuck am I? I was literally just on it. Where was that thing? Layout? Good God. I think I want this one. No, that is not what I want. I wonder what I did to this. Yeah, I don't want it on the left. I want it on the center. And I just can't remember because, like I said, brain isn't working too well today. It will get warmed up, I'm hoping. What happens if we just add another, and I'll just give up? We're gonna do Joker's thing. We're just gonna start over, start from scratch, and then put this in here, and then put this in here. Oh, that looks interesting. Though it still isn't centered, so that my plan didn't work. My goal didn't work. You can go back and you can get deleted. When I was trying to think when I think it, well, I opened Godot last night, and then I closed it. Why can't I remember how to do this shit? It's not the control. The control is just this size thing. Oh, I have this size set there too. Um, Shrink left and begin, expand on. I can't remember, man. Like I've done this 100 times at this point. It should be like second nature. Focus, no. Mouse, no. Input, no. Theme. See, we're all on the buttons here. Oh, wait. Here we go. Here we go. Center. Okay, no. Um, uh, wait, but you're on the right path. You're on the right path. I got it. Okay, wait. My brain, it's coming back to me. Like I said, I needed some warm up. I gotta make this expand. Where the fuck is that shit? Uh, Shrink center. This is the problem. It's this thing is the problem. But we do want... Oh, I can't adjust the... Oh, we're going to have to do this stupid control inside of a control. We want this thing. This doesn't have it. Oh, this is set. There we go. Here we go. It was because I set stuff and because I can't remember how brain works. Then you... This control, I need to go back to... Nope. Position 50. I wish I had still drank because then I could blame it on drinking. I could be like, oh, I drank a lot, so that's why my brain doesn't work. I was up late last night playing video games. That's an excuse, right? We want you like that, but I want you to, can I adjust you? Negative or 20. Okay, not 20, 10. Not 10, 5. Okay, 0. How about 0? All right, that looks good. And if we turn off one of these, this thing still, it should shrink. We want it to shrink. We have no minimums. Left to right is fine. Anchor presets. Oh, I see what's going on. We want this like one of these based on locale. So that's kind of right, except we want this to move. Why am I struggling with this? I've like done this so many fucking times. The position, I need this position to be right, which is 0. This position I don't give a shit about. Yeah, it still is not. It's like shrink center. It's because the control is in a weird spot, I think. Okay, so here's the vertical box. So the whole thing is fucked up. So this thing we want... Oh, right, other direction. And then we can put this control... Okay. 20. Then this, or sorry, the V box centered. Then the control... Do we even need this control? V box is there. H box. Here we go. Now we're cooking with gas, as they say some places. Here we go. It was just this control was driving me insane. I don't know what. Just get rid of it. There we go. Brain is working slightly again. Now we need a line. I know you're like, what? We just want a line in between this that turns on that we'll control with code. What happens if we make like 30 of these things, though? Okay, that's really slow for some reason, but that is exactly what we want. Except that works with that, but what happens if we want a second row? that's different things. We're going to have a duplicate HBox container. And that works. All right. The basics. What did I say earlier? There's no way we're going to finish this in 3 hours. I didn't specify a time, but I meant 3 hours. All right, this is working. My brain is starting to go someplace. Yeah. All right, so this line, so the line we only, is that not centered? I guess it is. The line we only want it to appear when there's more like different factions. So on the left side will be the enemy, or not necessarily enemy, but be the others, and then on the right side will be you. And so we gotta, I don't even know how to do that. Let's put in like, let's just add like an image or something, probably. Not an image, a texture, or I just want a line. I don't think there's, what do we got here? Line 2D can optionally be textured. That's not gonna do us any good. A separator? Yeah, but I want a line. I want it to, a line that you can see with your eyeballs. Is there something called a separator? Separator. Aha. What is this? Vertical. What does it look like? That's exactly what I want. That's what I want. So we're going to have it right here. And then if we turn it on, oh, right. See, we don't even have to do any, look at that. See, that's why chat's so helpful, is because I don't even know shit exists. And then there it is. And then the problem with that is we're going to have to put, we're going to have to tell it. I guess we're going to have to say, like, if it's this, it goes, its child should be above this child, or, which isn't the end of the world. Okay, so this one is going to be our armies HBox. Then we'll duplicate this, and this is going to be our heroes HBox. And then if we turn this off, perfect. These buttons we're going to have to instantiate, though. But we have the basics of what we need. And now this is going to look gigantic as fuck, probably. Let's see how that happens. Okay, I did not save these. It's only been a week. It's actually not that bad. I mean, it's not gonna be there all the time. None of this shit's gonna be there all the time. That actually works. So now let's do some code. I hear that's what you do. Yeah, I was worried it might, like, let's actually put on this side like a bunch, and then let's hit play here. See what it looks like. I don't think you would have this many, but it's like the goal is not to have like these different, whoops, not play, these different that many different factions. See, this goes out. So this has been my worry, and I'm glad. I said this at the beginning. I'm glad Portland is this small, weird shape, because then we can test to see, like, is this obvious? We still have this separator. It's kind of hard to see, but who gives a shit right now? This actually, I think this works too. Like I said, I don't think we'll have that many. Like this, so how this would work in a perfect thing, this would be yours, and these would be all the other AI factions in here, and same with this. So this would be like, these would all be armies of other factions. Or, you know, this faction could have a couple of armies. And then this would be the heroes hanging out here. So it works way better on these ones. But the small ones, it's still even, you can tell. All right, so let's stop this. Let's go back to this button. Oh, won't let me control Z. That's fine. We'll just delete them. Okay. Now, we need to put in here. Can we change? Let's. I just gotta look once again. Brain not too worky. Uh, so we can change the visibility. I'm thinking we're gonna want to change the color. We're gonna need in the button. Where's this text? Yeah, that text is not gonna fly. We're gonna want text. Do we want text in here? Yes. So we want the hero's name in here as well. And this is all a very small area. This text, we have that crazy shit going on where it's like, it's blown up and shrunk down. So we'll probably copy that, but see how much, we're not going to have that much room for text. Let's think this through again here. So in a perfect world, well, eventually when we get to the game, you know, you're going to have portraits for your leaders. It's not just going to be the same picture for everybody. So hopefully you would be able to just see the picture and click on the guy without a name. And then when you clicked on the guy, it would nothing. It would do nothing. We're going to need something over here. Uh, so I got to prepare all of this. So I guess all we need is the button. And I got to change my music because I don't know what this is, but I don't want to hear it. I know you guys can't hear it. I'm very picky about my music. I've decided. I had this girlfriend once who I was telling someone, I was like, yeah, I don't care, I'll eat anything. And then my girlfriend was looking at me all strange. I was like, what? And she's like, you are such a picky eater, dude. You don't want anything that has any flavor. You just like bland shit. I was like, I guess I am. I thought about it, you know. I guess I do just like bland sandwiches. That's it. And some soup. All right. So let's make this button. We're gonna have to change this button at some point, but I think like trying to figure out what we're gonna need right at this second is gonna be kind of difficult. But the good thing with the button is we can adjust it, and it's gonna be instantiated, so we don't need to like regenerate all this shit. So I have some dumb prefab things in here. No, but for UI stuff, I have it in a different spot. Let's rename. Let's put this down here, and we're gonna call it. Uh, Spawned token button. So this is for spawned tokens. Then what we'll do is we'll delete this shit. And then we'll delete this thing. And we'll delete this one. And then we'll delete this one. And then we'll go back to our spawned token button. And we'll just put one in here. I just want to make sure it still works, you know, how I think. And then we're going to delete it again. All right. Then we're going to turn off this stuff. Battle control off. The one, okay, so battle control, we're going to call this, we're going to rename this because it's no longer the battle control. It's going to be the hero tokens control. So we have the overlay, we have that. All right, do we have this something here? Let's build this thing to make sure that we don't, because this is going to change. Let's go into the script. And we're going to call this all right, we're going to rename that too. We're going to rename this. Do I have this open? No. We're going to rename this to something. Hero tokens control. And then we're going to need to rename. I probably hero tokens control. Yeah, I'm gonna need to like build this or something. Rename this thing. Get the fuck out of here. And then we're gonna go back to select county. There we go. And we're gonna rename this to hero tokens control. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't think it's done enough in programming. You gotta always, like, that's my whole thing, is rename everything all the time, because it doesn't cause problems ever. Never does it cause me any problems. It's always exactly what I want. You didn't build here, buddy. Hero tokens control. I want you to build for me. Luckily, and I always say this, luckily all these, compilers and stuff these days tell you where your issues are, or you just be sitting there. Like, I still can't believe how much extra work it must have been in the good old days to fucking program. Like, you had a person that just read through your printed code. There's that picture of that lady, I think it was like for NASA or something, who she's got this stack of code printed out next to her, like that's as tall as her, and her job was to like proofread this shit looking for bugs before you like typed it in again to some other thing. It was like a double check, looking for missing semicolons and shit. All right, this isn't going to do anything, except we got some cool bugs. We wanted this to be turned off. This to be... turned. So we're going to need a hero HBox, and we're going to need an army HBox in this select thing. Select county, which we're probably going to rename at some point. Once again, we're going to rename something. HBox, armies, HBox, and HBox, heroes, HBox, with two capitals, I suppose. And then we'll build this again. And then we'll put in armies, and we'll put in heroes. And then the separators, these need to be turned off. So now it's invisible. Everything's invisible. And that's where I think we're able to now build our map here. And we'll switch to the other thing, and we'll start manipulating this shit with code. Whoops. I was going to say, did I write something in here? What happens if you click that? and without the things generated. Okay, this looks right. Now we're gonna save these guys, and I still have to change this to async so it doesn't just like it does. And then I like to double check this thing up here. Make sure there's something in here, and there is. And so now, you gotta do, there is some not foolproof stuff in here that I want to change. Have I told you guys my backup of a backup story? I don't know if I have. I'm gonna tell it. I love this story. The old owner of the company that I work for, when I first started my job, I had to familiarize myself with the IT environment. And so I had to learn all the different servers and what they did and, how everything was set up. And it was a new system to me, and it was this, proprietary backup system. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, it looked like it was like half set up, and it saved a backup locally, and then it was half set up to save a backup remotely, but I didn't go anywhere. And so I'm unfamiliar with this thing, and I'm like, this doesn't look like it goes anywhere, but it's supposed to, like, according to the documentation the old IT guy wrote, it's supposed to go somewhere off-site. So if our building burned down, you would have all the data saved off-site, but it sure doesn't look like it goes anywhere. And then I started contacting the vendor, like, how do I tell where this is going? Because it doesn't seem to go, like, it's like half set up, but there's no like server connections. Like, is there some secret thing I'm missing? And they look at it too, and they're like, no, this doesn't go anywhere. Like, the documentation all says it's going offsite, like we're paying bills, like there's lists for like money that costs for setting this up to go offsite. But there wasn't like a monthly bill for it. It was just like the initial setup for the equipment. So turns out it wasn't going offsite, and the old IT guy was just lying. He was just like, yeah, that shit goes offsite. We're fucking good. So obviously we got to fix that. And it's like, one of the first things I'm doing is this new position is like, hey, we need to spend all this money on offsite servers and shit. And as a new IT guy, you like trying to go like, hey, I got to spend all this money to like, it makes it look like you're the person that's the problem, because the old IT guy who had more experience than me, so anyways, they're like, hire a third party to come in and give us a quote to make this shit go off site. And so we have this meeting with this third party, and the guy is up there, and he does this whole presentation that's like 30 minutes long. He's got the infrastructure that we currently have, because we don't have to buy anything for that, to go to this offsite server, which would be in like a server farm somewhere that's somewhat local, but it's like, disaster proof or whatever. And it's all makes sense. He's drawing diagrams and shit on the whiteboard, and like halfway into the meeting, the old owner just fucking loses it, and he's like, I can't believe you brought this shit to me. What about the backup of the backup of the backup? You're wasting our time. We all like look at each other, and the guy who's doing the presentation is like, what do you mean, like the backup of the backup of the backup? And he's like, this is the on-site, and then it goes off-site. And he's like, well, what about if those go down? We need another backup. And it's just like, okay, and so the guy's like, all right, I'll come back with another presentation with a backup of a backup of a backup. And we all, like, the meeting ends, and I apologize to the guy because he just got yelled at for no apparent reason. And he's like, if that's what you guys want, we'll do it. So like, he comes back next week, and he starts presenting again, and he's like, and so here's the backup of the backup of the backup. And the owner's like, that's insane. Who the hell would want a backup of a backup of a backup? Stop wasting our time. So we just went without it. But it was amazing. The look of us all in the meeting, like looking at him like, you wanted that. All right. I don't know why I stopped this. So what we got to do, I know I got sidetracked uh, telling stories. Okay. So now what we got to do is we got to spawn. We got a few things to fix. First off, when we click this spawn button, he's not going to spawn there anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to he's going to spawn on this thing, but he's going to be invisible. And we're going to turn on the first control, well, the second control actually at this point. So when we click this spawn button, first thing we got to do is spawn him invisibly, hidden underneath here. And then turn on the button with we'll just put his name in there or something. No, I guess we can put in the thing. So let's find the spawn button, wherever the code is for that shit. It's probably under somewhere. Battle log. He's gonna be hiding, just for the player. He's not gonna actually. It's not gonna be like he's sneaking around. Though we could do sneaking around stuff. Where the fuck is this thing? I remember I named it something weird. Speaking of, here we go. It's this thing. Recruit hero confirmation panel. No, that's not it. Recruit button. No. Heroes tokens. Hero panel container. You know what we could look at here, because I can't remember what I called this thing. Is this the one I want? Whoops. This is the new one that I just created. I was like, what the fuck is this? Hero list checkbox container. This is it. So this thing fires off a signal that goes where? Looks like it has to go here. This is the hero panel container. That makes sense. So if this is spawned, we don't care about this stuff. I forget why I was doing that. Oh, that has to be here for the thing where we don't want it to go through the UI. So we fixed that like last time I streamed. So what is this thing doing? We're hitting up the token spawner and we're spawning. Assign to selected heroes so it's ready to be moved. Player faction data, token spawner, spawn. Okay, so it's putting it in the correct. This is how it knows where it's spawning, and this is what it is spawning. But then we need to see what this faction data. I wonder why I put it here. We might move that. Player faction data. Oh, I kind of makes sense, I guess, to have it there because each faction can be spawning their own tokens. So that kind of makes kind of sense. Obviously, I gotta find my resources. Oh, it's just called token spawner. For some reason, I thought it was more complicated than that. Okay. So we won't change this. We're just going to change the location. The select county is going to be the spawn location. So let's pin this thing. Let's go back to our panel container and pin it as well, because we're going to be switching back and forth. So how are we telling it to... Oh, wait, we need our token spawner, wherever it went. Here it is. What the fuck is this thing? I want to pin this. What is this button? There we go. Why is this here? This is 100% unnecessary. What? Um, so select county. I read this. So there is a game that I was gonna stream next month, and I was looking. I like to look to see what's coming up on the list, and there was a game. None of this makes any sense here to me. There's a game that was coming up, and I was like, "Has this guy done any updates on this thing?" And I looked it up, and uh, he basically did a long post about how he's given up on creating the game, and he spent a year rewriting stuff, and it didn't turn out how he wanted, so he gave up on it. And I was like, man, I'm gonna be spending years rewriting stuff. I hope that I have, you got to have that mental, that thing like shit isn't gonna work, or you're gonna get demoralized. I don't. This doesn't make any sense to me. So this thing is instantiating the hero token, which is fine. And it goes to spawn hero. We attach it to the spawn. Okay, hero spawn parent. Here we go. But we don't need this because it's right here. Maybe I was just doing that to, I don't know what the fuck I was doing there. Let's go back. Go back here. Rename this to select county. So yeah, I think what was happening was the mentality. He thought he was going to solve all his problems, and it's not like a bad mentality. You would want that to work, but like I'm mentally preparing myself for shit not to work. So this thing, actually, we don't need this anymore. What is this, a hero stacker? Yeah, we don't need that anymore. What we do need is the county. We want it to appear basically underneath the sprite, the capital sprite. So what we'll do is we're gonna go. Can we just put position in here? Oh wait, we're doing. What the fuck are we doing here? Oh. But this is just like what is the capital sprite? This is a sprite 2D. I mean, that will work probably, but okay, we also have a script that I just got rid of. Let's look at what that is. We might be able to make this less complicated. You're not going to let me click on this, are you? We'll just go this way. Heroes stacker. I guess we could use the heroes stacker. What the fuck am I looking for here? Map editor, UI. We're going to have to rename this. Okay, we're reordering. Yeah, all of this shit could go. So this stack tokens. So this is if the list changes, we stack the tokens. We're gonna change it. We're not. So this whole thing could go. This is gonna can stay. This is fine. I got to put these notes in for myself later so that I know. And we were calling that what we can do instead, I think, is kind of put this back, but we don't need the controls open right now, hopefully. We don't need county data, hopefully. So what the fuck is this thing doing? It goes to the spawn thing, which is under our faction data. And it's just a new thing. So it just uses the new one, which is fine. Like I said, I think that should be fine because each faction is going to need its own. We could also use one that's like a singleton, I believe is the word, but they might be trying to spawn at the same time. So this goes to the token spawner, and then we pass in the county that it's being spawned at, and then we're spawning it a character 2 body, or a character 2 body 2D. Then we're adding it to this parent. So I believe the reason why we're doing that is so that when the game's running, I'm not gonna be able to run it right now because it's busted. Is it still running? It's still running. So I think we're doing that so that we can easily find it underneath here. But what we're going to do is we're going to put it underneath here. So that is going to work, except, so this is hero spawn. We're going to rename this. Oh, there's something. Well, that's fine. Tokens, because it's not it could be an army. Token spawn parent is going to be this. So it will appear underneath the sprite 2D, which is fine. It's going to be the spawned token. Once again, it could be an army. And then it's going to add it to the token spawn parent. This is going to be, so it's going to be underneath here, which makes sense. And now we'll be able to find it underneath the county sprite. Then we're going to go spawned token hide. We're going to make sure it's turned off. We don't want to be able to see it. And then we're putting the county population. We're going to assign that to the spawned token. The spawn token, I mean, is going to be assigned to the county population. So the county population knows which token it has. Selected token is going to equal spawn token for some reason. See, this is when things get weird. Ma Twog, how's it going? So I am a firm believer that learning C# is probably a good career thing. I don't use it in my career, but if you already know Python, though, it seems like Python would also. The more languages you know, so I have a friend who's like a full stack developer, and he knows a bunch of different languages. And I think that's probably the way to do. The more languages, the more options you have career-wise. I don't know that much about like which one is the hardest, though, if that makes sense. Like is C# more difficult to learn than Python or whatever? It doesn't seem that much more difficult. I don't know. Chat might know more about like difficult. I feel like C++ is always labeled as harder than the other ones, because otherwise, if it was easier, everyone would just use C++. But there's probably like whole parts of each language that I have no understanding of why they're picked. I don't know who Sync Fusion. I don't know who that is. Windows forms and controls And C sharp. Well, if you're doing when you're saying Windows, I'm assuming Microsoft Windows is what you're talking about. Um, Microsoft stuff, then C sharp is the way to go. You know, they run the Microsoft. Microsoft runs the deal. So this is a thing that I see as quite strange we're doing here. We have the token assigned to the county population, and then we're assigning the county population to the token, which is strange, but it's like a big loop. And then we're putting this here, and then we're putting the name, update the token's label, which, yes, we still want to do that. Add token to the county's spawn hero list. So this is where things are this is the thing I kind of changed. Because we don't have this stacker anymore. We're going to put this, we're going to move this shit. Microsoft also has like a whole online class for C sharp. I did it for a little bit, very little bit, and I got bored with it. But I think that's a definite like thing to help you learn it. It goes through the basics, and there's like tests, and it shows you how to install the console, so that you can work on the console on your computer. And it's also got one built in online. Do all your learning that way. Shit, an hour's already passed. What was I going to open up? I was going to open up my battle control. Not that one. I've renamed it to Hero Tokens Control. I think that maybe that's what it's called. Is Code Academy. Like I said, I did a couple of them. I can't remember what it was called though. It was pretty good actually, because there's some, you could skip the parts that were obvious, but then if it had you type in the things or copy and paste them, I guess, more than type in. All right, so this is for combat though. Thank you for the follow. By the way, and I am gonna take a quick break though. I don't want to hear this song. I know you guys can't hear my music. Got to say that every time. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break though, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. There we go. Break timer's up. Be right back. All right, I'm back. You know, I was thinking while I was outside, if you're still there, I'm just gonna call you Ma. Uh, Joker, he's in chat sometimes. He does tutorials for Godot. I know he has some like classes. I don't know if it's C sharp stuff though. Uh, so we have this. I think we are going to use this hero tokens control. It will have like the start battle. It will have all this stuff. I think we should put the list of who's where. No. Let's see what this list is. Um, I was just talking about you, Joker. Uh, Probably we will. We actually want this under select county. We probably want all of these lists over here. Uh, Lists. Well, we won't be able to see this shit. No point in having that there. I think we should have the list here. We should keep track. I'm wondering where was I putting these lists? We get a combat log list. Like who's keeping track of the I guess I never got. No, they appear. I wasn't keeping track. We'll do it under the select county, which we'll probably rename to county. Um he was talking about Code Academy, and I know you do some classes online, but I don't know what they are. I don't remember what they are. We want a list of. Man, this is going to be kind of complicated now that I'm thinking about it. Let's go back to this hero stacker. So we're going to want two lists. One list. Yeah, we don't want it on the hero stacker, I don't think. We're going to copy this. I think we want it over here. And we do want... It's a select token, huh? Okay, well that works actually, I think. And then we're gonna want to go to this hero stat. We're gonna want another one. Whoops, what was that button? We're gonna want another one that is. So there's gonna be a spawned hero list, and then there's gonna be a spawned army list, and then. See, I had a list of visitors somewhere. Visitors. Visitor. Guess I didn't. I thought when they got there, I was putting them in a different list, and that's one of the reasons we were having some issues. Maybe I should just say fuck it and not even worry about that right now. What do we actually need? So the guy gets there, he goes invisible. We need to keep him. Do we need him in a list? We don't really need him in a list. Not right now. Let's not do a list at all. What we're going to do instead, he gets spawned. He goes invisible. We're going to comment this out. We might put this back. He gets spawned. He goes invisible. Go back to my token spawner here. We don't necessarily need him to be added to a list. I'm trying to think of why we had him in lists in the first place, because of this token stacker. The token stacker is why we needed the list. Instead, what we're going to do... Oh, I feel like Microsoft has that whole thing, but you're talking about Godot C# ones, right? Or you're talking about just in general? Okay, so we want, this needs to change to capital sprite global position and capital sprite global position. And then we were removing them from this list. So let's get rid of this temporary. Then we need to we need to make them visible over on the start move, because if they're going to be invisible, this is going to be somewhat complicated, but once we get one working, it's going to all fall into place here. Where do we have this token somewhere? We have county population, which is good enough. Okay, so that will start the movement. You got to select, so we got to go back to the thing. You hit the spawn button. It hides the token, but we need to also instantiate the button thing. So this needs to have, uh, oh, but we can't attach a thing to this. We can't, we have it. We can just put it in globals, actually. Selected items, token textures, map. What do we got down here? Population, faction, player faction, hero shit. We want it underneath the hero shit. What did we call this thing? I mean, it's going to be a packed scene, I guess, except without caps lock on. But what did we call this? We called it a spawned token button. And then we're going to need to attach something to the spawn token button. So after this instantiates, let's break this into two parts. We actually might break this into different methods probably, but right now let's just label it. This is going to be spawning the token. This is going to be down here. I don't know why we're returning this selected token, but it probably makes sense at some point. We're not going to need it though. This is going to be spawning the token. What did I call that thing? I just typed it in 2 seconds ago. Spawned token button. And so we'll instantiate. This is a button though. And then we're gonna instantiate this button, spawned token button. And then this has to be a button. And then we're going to set this button's texture, sprites, texture. What the fuck is this thing called? Let's go back to our image texture, icon image texture. Where the fuck is this thing? Okay, so we're going to set its icon to be I don't think this has icon in it. What is this thing? Select token is a script, but this is going to be, you know what it is? Let's look at select token. I bet you, oh, we got it right here. Let's pin this as well. Sprite. I was about to say, I bet you we have it on there. Texture. All right, so this is, we're going to spawn this thing, but we need to also add it to the parent. And we do have that in there. And currently this will only work, we'll have to have an if then in here, but right now I guess we'll just put it the easy way, which is just, well, I guess we go, if select token, do we have a county population already? We already have it in here. County population is army leader equals true equals false. Then we're going to have this thing. Do we have a select county in here? We do. What did I call this thing? Heroes HBox. Add child. Else. Not with the P that I always type. This is going to be armies HBox. I don't know why you got that space there. Get it out of here. And then the other thing we're going to want to do, though, this is why I don't think we need a list anymore, is on here, we're going to want to add a script. I'm going to rename this thing too. Spawned token button. And we're going to add a script to this. That's what I want it called, but I feel like I already have that used. Isn't that what I'm typing into right now? No, it is not. UI, it is in the user interface, but then on here we're gonna need a private. Right now, I think it's private. We might have to fuck with that later, but right now. Motherfucker. Okay, so we're gonna assign it to here. When it's so this is like we won't need a list because it's gonna show on the screen and it's like a visible list, not a. So we're gonna then make this thing spawned token button dot. Where are we doing this thing? Where are we instantiating this thing? We're actually gonna call this a spawned token button, and this thing. I wish you didn't have to cast stuff. I find it annoying. I wish you could just figure it out. I guess I can just use var. Then we're gonna do county populate. Oh, we need this to be public. I just typed this in here, and I said we're gonna make it private. And sure, what was I full of shit or what? Right there, county population is gonna be select token. We already have it up here somewhere. Okay. Well, all those vars, that's even more confusing to me. I'm just like, what is that shit? Like, I'm always just like, staring at it. I'm like, is that a character body 2D? What is that thing? That's why I do that. So you don't have to do this in C sharp. You can just var all this shit. In fact, like when I first started streaming, someone got pretty upset that I was typing, that I wasn't using var. They were like, why are you wasting your time? Just put var for all that stuff. And I was like, because it helps me debug. And they were like, you're an idiot. Go fuck yourself. No, they didn't say that. They implied it though. Okay, so back to the steps of what's going on. You click that little slider thing, which is under, not there, it's under the hero panel container. You click the little slider. It uses the factions token spawner and it spawns it, and it tells you what county it's in and in the county population that you're spawning. I don't know how it's getting this. I guess we know about it somewhere. So then we go to the token spawner, and the token spawner takes that information and it spawns the token on the capital sprite. And it spawns the token and adds it over there. It hides the token. It applies the spawned token. I'm going to put a note here because this is bizarre. This is bizarre. Period. So it puts the token on the county population's token. Then it takes the county population and puts that on the token. It's doing like, I feel like we got to have one or the other. I mean, I wonder why we have it. I guess the token does need to know its county population unless we pass through county population instead of the token all the time. Like, what happens if we got rid of this? We know that. What happens if we... Somewhere at some time, the token... I think, weren't you telling me about the typecasting to like speed up stuff in GD script, or was that some other conversation? I have a feeling, I'm going to put this in here. I have a feeling this shouldn't be done this way, but I have a feeling as well that the token is needed. You know what? No, let's do it. We have the county population and it has the token. Let's comment this shit out and then deal with the bugs and see what happens. See, because then we're like, so like right here, we can do that. And then we can do this. Just how's it going? County population dot token. Oh, look, see, I had like some weird shit going on here again. So I'm telling you that there's something wrong with, we didn't even need that. We just can go to here. It's going to cause fucking chaos, though, later. So this is going to be token. Oh, but this we would want to cast. This is the stupid casting thing. To select token. I think. Yeah, it does. It has... Alright, we got to two-step that shit, though. Which, obviously, I'm not a big fan of. You know, just programming. How are you doing? What are you up to? I guess we got to cast that. We got to two-step this, unless we have a thing right here. And you know what we could do? We could even break this down now that I know how to do this different. This can just be select token, and this can be select token because they go the other direction. Going through old code that I wrote months ago and changing everything, it's both pleasurable and painful because I'm like, why did I write it this way? But then at the same time, we don't need this shit. We can go spawned token. It's always nice to be able to delete shit. I know we're gonna have an issue with this in a second. This can just be spawn token. I think we're gonna. I don't know why I would have done that if we didn't. What's your problem? We need an ED. And then I guess we're returning this spawn token. I still don't know why we're doing that, but I think we'll be able to get rid of that in a second. All right, what other... Okay, here they all are. Oh, these are different issues. I like my errors to be at the top, please. Thank you. What are we doing here? Oh, we're stacking the tokens. This is the code we're getting rid of, so let's just comment all this shit out temporarily. Like I find it very satisfying to delete a big chunk of code and be like, yeah, now it's only 2 lines, but then it's broken, you know, sometimes. All right, what else we got here? I clicked on that description thing. This is the player controls. Home county, heroes, but what are we doing in these player? Okay, this is right clicking. So we're right clicking and we're changing this is actually good. I'm so glad, like, once again. What the fuck are we doing here? Okay, so this is that list. What the fuck are we doing with this list? Oh, move the top token to the bottom. If the selected token's name equals the name and its count, we don't need this shit. This whole thing is gone. All right, what is this? This is under select token. We no longer can select the token this way. No, we can't select the tokens this way at all. So this is going to get rid of all of this shit. So let's comment this out just in case it's like, oh God, put it back. You fucked something up so seriously. Yeah, this is all. We're not going to do that at all, though. What do we got here? Token movement. Add to token stacker. We're not doing that anymore either. My poor token stacker that I worked so hard on. 15 hours. I'm just guessing that number is probably more like 50 hours. I have 104 streams. It's 100 of them. What else we got here? We'll get that's something that we never got to because we had this token spawner issue. So I think we actually can test this right now. Except we gotta add. We'll save this thing. We gotta add something to something here. You know, the thing that I keep it is like I'm like, man, why the fuck did I do it this way? And then I'm like, oh yeah, this is the way I used to do everything. And then I like say I definitely some oh God, I was fucking stupid for this. Definitely some of that. And other times it's like, oh yeah, this is that shitty way that I used all the time. And it's back to that, like having the mentality in my brain. I knew that I was gonna get in there, motherfucker. Oh no, don't get in there, motherfucker. You're the wrong thing. Uh, I have to keep telling myself like we're definitely rewriting tons of this stuff because I don't want to get demoralized like that developer I was talking about who got demoralized and just gave up on his game. He put like years into this game and then he just said, fuck it. Uh, so we don't know if anything worked there because it's invisible. But we can easily fix that. What we can do is, so this is, well, you know, we can check. Let's check some stuff while we're here. No, not here. Counties. Where is this? Portland? Okay, this did not work because if it did, we would have had a dude over here. Just making sure that there's like not a dude hidden somewhere. The spawn token button is here. The thing is that it's quite large. Um, we just needed to turn it on. Obviously, the size is a little off. But I also this didn't appear. We didn't get a bug. You know, we could turn off this GD print thing. Mouse. What does this say? Mouse over UI. We don't need this right now. This is for other testing. I only use the rainbows now on important stuff when I'm like, I really need to know if it's appearing. So why didn't this thing add to this child? Or add a child on here. Oh wait, no, it is here. I guess I just didn't. Oh. What the fuck is this? Oh, I was reading capital sprite is county sprite. Okay, so he is here. And he's hidden, which is what we want. So let's fix this other thing, this spawn token button. We must have to like lock its size or something. Minimum size, its size. We don't want it to expand. We want it to. The problem is that that thing might be that big. That probably, I mean, that's not the problem. That is what's happening. Is that thing's that big? All right, so we got to do two things. Let's fix this real quick. Sorry, I gotta fix my music that you guys can't hear. We gotta turn on the county's thing. The county's, so it's actually, we can do it right here. Select county. What is this? Hero HBox show. And then same right here. Armies HBox show. Then we gotta go figure out why this thing is massive. I mean, I know why. That's the size of that thing, but we need to set the size of that thing. Okay, now I just put on. Now there's worse music that you guys can't hear. The network. I don't know what that is. Is that a band? Uh, you know, when you're young and you're like, your parents don't know what anything is. You're like, they don't know any of your slang. They don't know what any of the bands you listen to. I don't even have any kids though, and I've felt that. I feel that way now. Um, I don't know what anything is. My coworkers are like, "Look at this TikTok," and I'm like, "What's TikTok?" Look, this is supposed to turn off too. We'll get to that. What is this? Well, we should probably put a note in because I'll forget. This is all open source, by the way. I keep meaning to say that more frequently because I feel like people do not know that we need to add in disable um, spawn button when a hero has been spawned. I do like the term yeet. Using yeets made me think about. I do like the term yeet. It does make me chuckle. I think that though that's already out. Like yeet's done. We're done with yeet. We've moved on to some other term. I was banging my knee against my desk. All right, so how do we make this fucking thing small? This button, I want to set you. What does this custom thing do? It doesn't do me any good. Shrink center, shrink center. Uh, the size is set. I don't have expand on. Let's look at icon behavior. So now this song is pretty good. I don't know who this is. The Mysteries? The Mysterines? I know you guys can't hear it. All right, I don't want this shit to move around. I guess we might have to change the size of. Well, let's Google it. Godot set button icon to size. All right. How to make the button fit the. I don't know. I want the opposite of this to happen. How many years old is this though? This is 3 years old. At this point, I think Google should actually just default to the past year. Like for everything. I have to change this like on every search. Maybe I can just change Google's default. See, look at all those VARs. It's just garbage in my brain. What is this? Button size versus theme. I'm just gonna have to like do some dumb shit here. Can I just go? Let's just see. I don't want to get the size. I bet you there's a surprisingly easy way to do this. Let's look at this thing again. What happens if you put a thing that one person? What happens if you put a texture rack below it, and then you say fit width, and then you say that thing. And then you say, you go to this thing and you say public texture rec hero or token icon texture. I just saw your thing. Um, your thing about it, you know, and that's true. It is a variable, but isn't everything pretty much a okay? That's not true. I guess there are some constants. There's a lot of variables. Uh, did I make you private or not export you? You piece of shit. Was I waiting patiently for that to finish and it was already done? You motherfucker. And it was already done. You motherfucker. All right. So then what happens if we go back to this thing and we go, what did I call that thing? Spawn, icon, spawn, what is this? Spawn token button. Is it spawn token button? What did I call it? Texture, rec, tech, this, this equals, this thing. Equals this thing. And then I go, this thing. What's your problem? Oh. How did I do it on the other one? I already have this working somewhere. How did I do it right here? Sprite texture. um, let's see here. Okay. This needs to be not that. I've lost it. This needs to be a texture 2D. And then that would be, we're going to rename this though. Nope, no. And then this should, let's build this again. It might bump this thing out. We're just going to set this texture. Oh, you motherfucker. I'm on the wrong spot. Spawn token button, texture 2D, token icon texture. I can't put in this other texture rec. So this, so how do I do this? I go texture rec, and then this, I go texture, let's rename this rect. Then this is going to be texture again. Jesus fucking Christ. I did it. Except we need to build this again. And then we'll put this in here. We've done it. You gotta have a texture for your texture for your texture. That's how it works. It's just part of Godot. All right, I was about to say, oh, it's all fucked up, but actually, it's not all fucked up. This is what we want it to look like, except so that thing's gonna spawn it. This sets that. Then we go if token spawn parent get child, no, get children, like count or whatever, is greater than 1. Is greater than 1. We're going to have to put in that we're going to have whatchamafuck. Where is that thing? It's this. We're going to have a, let's put in an export group here. And this is going to be war. And then up here, we're going to go tokens. And then we're going to go export private public separator called faction separator. Titan, how's it going? Thank you for the raid. How's your afternoon? Well, afternoon for me. Token separator. All right, then we're gonna need this to go down to here. And man, that looks I didn't think it looked that blurry until I just came back. I mean, that does look blurry, but that's fine. It's not important. Then we're gonna want to put this token separator right here. Right here. You know, it's pretty crazy that this little thing that looks like pixelation is actually the shape of that county is actually this weird. In real life, it's this weird. I mean, it is pixelated as well, but it's this weird jagged lines. It's like they didn't want to draw. They didn't want to draw. You know, they wanted straight lines, so they just went. Meh, meh, meh. Like Kansas, like middle America, it's all just squares. But the thing is, they like Kansas, they didn't, you know, Kansas like a square state, squarish. They didn't just like block it off. It's like they started drawing in one corner and they were drawing squares. And then like when they got to the next corner, it dawned on them they had made a mistake. And there was like, they made some of the squares different sizes. So they just kept going for it. And so like the squares, it's not like a grid. It's like these squares that are just some idiot drew. It's very bizarre. Okay, so this should now have a thing for this. Oh, this is gonna be, we're gonna have two different ones actually. This is gonna be hero separator, and we're gonna have another one called army separator. And it's totally like, you know, if you were hand drawing something and then the closer you got to the end, the boxes get weirder and weirder, and you know you have to fix it, so you start like drawing a box that's smaller, you know, instead of like using a ruler either. I don't know when they created those counties, but it's very bizarre to me that they didn't, when they had the chance, if they're just gonna have a grid, like why not just have it more grid like. All right, so this separator. Uh-oh, this is a V separator. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't give a shit. And maybe it's somebody like arguing. You know, my county should go over a little bit more. My county should be a little wider. And then the guy who like was sick that day, I guess the little tiny county. All right, so if the token spawn parent, no. If the army, if the select county, I don't know if it will let me get children in H box. Yeah, it sure will. Is greater than 1, then we're just going to go whatever this thing was. Where did I put that? Hero tokens control. I don't think I have an instance of this thing. Why is there a random in here? What are we randomly doing? Oh, that's the combat. We are doing random stuff. Do we have... We do. We have select hero token control dot separator. What are we on? Hero separator? Show. And then we're going to make another one of these. And then we'll make this army. What do they have in Canada? Are they counties? Are they districts? This is the same. This is a dumb name. Now that I've done this, this is a dumb name. It shouldn't be heroes. What did I call this thing? Army separator, probably. All right. So then we need to start off. These are already turned on, so we need to regenerate the scenes then. So let's run the map editor again. Except we gotta do something first here. We gotta go up to, I need to put a delete counties button. So I don't have to do this every time. And I don't know if this is gonna fuck shit up when we do this, because it thinks they're generated. I think this is gonna fuck shit up. Because I just delete it. Yeah, let's start this over here. Census divisions. That's not a very glamorous name. I guess counties aren't very glamorous, but you know, back in the good old days, if you know, counties count, baronies. Did we save this shit? We did. So we can close this, and then we can run the main game here. I gotta remember not to bounce my desk. no bugs. Okay, so this is working how I want it to work. For the spawning, you can't do anything with this, and in fact, we're clicking through this button. So let's fix that first. That should be pretty cake. Oh my god, I said it. I said it'd be easy. Yeah, exactly. I know what the problem is too. It's the same problem we had before with this other UI elements. So what it is, the way we fix this so that you can't click through these is, you can actually tell easy. Did I fix this one? I did. Is this little gap fixed? The little gap's fixed too. Is we had to put a little like program in that it signals. That's what that thing was earlier that I said, oh, we don't need this for this shit right now. Where was that? That was the thing that I commented. It's right there. It's this. And then we can just copy this hero panel. Wonder if there's a better way to do this instead of having every single item. Let's take this out of here actually. So that you can't click through it. Hero tokens control is what we want. And then we'll turn this back on, except let's put this hero token control so we know which one is doing what. Well, you know, like earlier I was gonna try to like draw that separator and like Win just was like, oh, there's a separator thing. You guys often have like things like that where you're like, oh, there's just a thing. There's a node you can use. What was the reparent? Reparent was one that you had where I didn't know that existed. So I'm hoping at some point everything will be in there, and I'll just be able to type 2 words, and then the whole thing will work. So the reason why this doesn't work is because the way we get the information, it's when we hover over, it's getting the position of what's below it, and it doesn't give a shit. It actually doesn't even care what it's like there's no colliders or anything. It just like get the position, and then whatever the position is that's below it. I mean, it doesn't care about what's even below it. It just cares about this thing right here. So basically, oh, I guess that didn't work. I just wanted to turn off. But basically, when the mouse moves over, it's like, what's the color at this position? And it gets the color. So that's why this doesn't, it clicks through things, because you're not actually clicking on anything. It just says, what's the position when you click? So what we got to do is we got to turn off this stuff when we got to say you can't do it. So let me look at this though. I want to look at this scene, because this scene might be quite large and we might not want it to be. It's actually underneath here. Like, how gigantic is this thing? Sorry, it's this thing. The county overlay. Oh, it's not going to tell us how big this is. There's no way to see this controls. Yeah, it's not going to show us the size of this control. Like that, I wonder how on the other one we had to get it really, really in there to get everything to work. Let's try it on the county overlay. I have a feeling that's not going to work how I want it. Where did I put this fucking code? In the hero panel container? That what? Where did I put this code? Hero panel container. I put it over here. Let's actually put this. That was a huge pain in the ass. No, let's leave it here. Let's leave it here and see. So then we'll set. Actually, I'm trying to retrain myself on how I do this. We will do on mouse entered. We'll go to source. We'll go to pick. It's not here because we got to build it. And then I'm going to take a break after we do this. We're not even going to hit play. I'm just going to take a break. I was patiently waiting. Go to source, pick, connect, fuck off, exit, go to source, pick, connect, save. All right, now I'm going to go, well, I'll hit play and then we'll just leave this thing sitting here for no reason, just so that you can see the joys of Oregon. All right, I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me throw up my break timer, and I gotta stop my music that you guys can't hear, and break timer. All right, I'll be right back. So I was just thinking that it's going to be hard to test this because uh, it doesn't go off when you hover over. So like this, when you hover over, it doesn't go off until you go off the edge. And so that how I tested this was to move this over and it would stay on. And this isn't triggering it. It's going to be very hard to test this unless we fix that one bug. Because it's, we can't tell if it's doing anything, except it's not telling us that it's going in and out of that. And we were able to click through it, I guess. So that is, so we got to fix something here. We have this on, but I think we need to do something to the mouse. Ignore. Stop the mouse, maybe. Or maybe pass the mouse. Oh, well, it tells us right there that it's clicking on. And it's not, we're not getting that print. It doesn't know that it's getting, there should be, all right, this song blows. I don't know who this is. Yeah, it would be going, it would know, we would be getting print things. We save this, right? Yep. So we have to get this thing to recognize that the mouse, I have stop, maybe pass is what we needed. I can't remember. I fucked with this a bunch with the other one. I guess I can look at the other one. Oh, you know what though? It's not going to work with this because we're using the old whatchamacallums. I'm curious if this would even tell us. I don't think I put in the programming. All this does is currently highlight stuff. But that would probably, if it was working for this, which we don't want it to work actually for this. We only want it to work when you click on it. So let's stop this. Or when there's a spawn hero. It's been kind of a pain in the ass to test here. We can write it in. We can fix up our thing here. What do I have it on pass? I should have looked at the other UI so we didn't have to do this over and over again. It's going to be 30 minutes, altogether of doing this over and over again. So it shouldn't happen yet. This is when okay, wait. Oh, no, this is, yeah, it's still not happening. It did happen here, though. Oh, we got to see what that says. What does this thing say? It's actually over here. It's under county info. We have pass on. But that actually wasn't the thing that was hitting it. This has stop. County in here V box. What is this signal? Yeah, we have it on stop there. So let's go back to this thing. Save that. Go back to this. We might need to regenerate some. We might need to work on the map editor briefly here soon. And add in so we can test it from here without having to like generate it, wait, save it, start the other thing. Stop this, play this. Yeah, it still doesn't pick this up that anything is happening. Wonder if there's an easier way to do this. 'Cause like I said, it's not clicking through anything. So we have to manually turn this off. Let's see. What am I missing here? We got on mouse enter. I'm pretty sure I have the signals in. We have the signals in. We have mouse stop. But it's not stopping it on this control. On this scene, on this other part, it's on this part. Okay, we have it on a V box on this part. Maybe the controls won't do it. So let's go back to to this thing. No, not that thing. Actually, we could put it on this. So it would only not work on this button. That actually might be a better choice, honestly. Let's put this, so let's go back to the token control. We're also going to have to put then we're going to need it in another spot. We're going to have this all over the place. I mean, when I was writing this the other day, I was like, fuck, if we have to do it this way, we're going to have this all over the place, and that's the case. I would like there to be a better option, but I don't know if there is. What did we just do? County scene. Remove these. And remove this. Save that. Then on this, build this. Luckily, all of these are instantiated, so we don't have to entered. Get the fuck out of here. Exited. And then on here, we have stop. I don't know what that is going on there. We don't need to regenerate the things, I don't think. The counties. So it's not detecting that we're going, this is a button. Wonder why this V box would work. This is a button. Whoops. Button not detecting. Mouse enter. It's not what we want. Oh, game maker. So hopefully this isn't a bug that. I added a button as the parent node of the scene and attached its signals. Hover. Hover? I wonder if I have to have it like over this texture rack. I don't. Let's go back to this county scene. These are like V boxes and stuff. Uh, let's go back to. Sorry, it's not the county scene. It's here. How many of these do I got? I got one there. I got that V box. Man, I have a lot of signals on here. Wonder if there's another. Let me think about this for a second. So the way it's getting it is it gets it from that color on the thing when you click. When you left click, is there another way we can put that in there? Like, don't do this when something's happening. I think this is the only way to do it that I can think of. If anyone knows, tell me of a better way to do this. Uh, but let's think about this. I guess I never saved that, but that shouldn't matter. It's not detecting it at all. Let's go back to this thing and we'll put it here. Maybe it doesn't care about the button part. I feel like it would have to know. It has to know the button part though. What are these debugs that it's telling me about? Uh, the provided callable is null. What is this? In master docs under custom signals comes to the following. Callables can be assigned null, but is So this same code is working on that other thing, though, so it should be. Oh, you know what it could be? I know what it could be. We're stopping the. We're stopping it with this other thing is on top of it. That's probably what it is. So if we go back to this, I had like stop or something in here. If we pass this, do we have any other weird stop? The panel container will want to pass that. Pass the battle button. We'll put pass for now because that's gonna. That will be a different thing. Is this what we have stop on here? We pass. 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 The separators. I guess we should check them. Oh no, they have stop. We want to pass. And then we'll turn them back on if, or we'll make them stop. Okay, so this is the scene, so we got to go back and delete this all. And then we're going to play this scene, and then while we're doing that, I'm going to make this song skip. I don't know what it is. I don't like it. We don't need the file explorer open. And we'll save these counties. Wonder what else could be up on there. You know, there's a control that goes across the whole thing. Stop that. But I think I tested that. Control doesn't do anything when you. No. Okay, so for the county node, doesn't have anything. Does this sprite have any mouse shit on it? Didn't look like it. Does this county sprite have the ability to do any mouse stuff? The overlay node, what do we care about that? We don't care about that. I don't see any mouse stuff on this. The hero spawn location, no. Pass. 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 Ignore. Sure. Ignore. Pass. I mean, I feel like maybe we want ignore. Ignore. I'm looking for a stop though. I guess the other way we could test it, well, that wouldn't matter either. Okay, so these are all passed, but I don't know if that means anything. Back to this it should matter. It shouldn't matter either way. I have two signals connected to the same thing. Let's delete this one. This isn't that big of a deal to reconnect. Let's do that. Let's save that. Let's double check. Is this the same nullable shit? The provided callable is null. I don't know why it would ever say that. Let's go back to our main here. And when you click on that, the county info panel is open, which goes this far. It's set on pass though. Like it goes all the way over this thing. It opens up. Uh, this is set on stop, which is what we want. It doesn't work that way, but so I feel like that shouldn't matter. Go back to our counties here and we'll delete all these again. Run this. I don't think I've really changed anything actually. We can get this to work reliably, then we can probably write like a script that we just call all over the place, I guess. I thought I'd turn that off. I guess I only turned it off on that one. The fuck am I missing here? Okay, so that definitely works. Wonder why this one isn't. There's something obvious that I'm missing. Spawn token button. Spawn token button. We have. Let's disconnect this. We don't have a control there, but I assume that, you know. Let's put it on this rect just to see. All I'm trying to get is that GD print thing to happen right now. So regardless if it's regardless if it's entering or if this is working, it should still put this print thing in, or at least give us some errors or something. I don't like that we're getting these when I'm connecting these things, we're getting bugs. Yeah, it's not detecting this stuff. I wonder if there's also, let's look at this. Let's put this really, really high here. Maybe it's like below something that we can't see. Nope. All right, I gotta be missing something obvious here. It's weird. This is going away like something's open. So that's supposed to turn off when something's open. It's when I pause it, it goes away. It still doesn't work, but it is weird that there's probably a reason. I can't remember why that would go away when you pause it though. This also blocks it, which is interesting. When that's open, you can't click on stuff. Trying to think, does it even matter? It does kind of matter. You want it. You don't want to select this every time. I guess it could not matter. Like you have, let's say you're looking at this guy and you decide you want to move this guy, so you click on him. It does. If it does click through, does it matter? Stephen Wood is there. You know, we also got to do is add uh, another thing here to this. We want it to also change the color of the icon, the texture in the button to the faction color. That's just another thing we got to do here. Man, this clicking through shit is a pain in the ass. It's not, we're not really clicking through stuff, but it has become, this was a pain in the ass last time to get to work, where it wouldn't click through, you know, it wouldn't go through. Maybe it's possible that this mask is over the top of it. Let's see, our county scene. It's at 10. This is at 5. That's why I put it like at 50. Is this thing still running? It is. Let's look at remote. Let's look at like you. This is to make sure that this didn't get like jumped to something crazy. County overlay. And this doesn't have like a mouse. It's at 10. A mouse blocking thing. That's a 10. So it's got to be something like it's not registering. This, well, what do we got here? It's got to be something to do with like it's not doing the event thing, but it shouldn't matter because the event thing it when you click it shouldn't be, the event thing shouldn't be getting eaten unless we tried to do that. We did try to do that a long time ago, where we ate the event for some reason. Left click on a county, but I can't remember if that was for this or for something else. Is inside token equals false. Maybe that has something to do with it. Is inside token equals false. That was I don't think that's not going to apply right now. That was a different thing we used. I'm trying to remember what that thing was that was like. Um, but all this stuff shouldn't actually even be affected by these inputs because the input, this is all all this does is it just checks the counties for the colors. This has nothing to do with any, well, I mean, it does select the counties later and stuff, but how it interacts is not, uh, adjust player controls. There's got to be a way to, how do I test, you know, like the going in and out of this should be blasting us with, whoops, with GD print stuff, but it's not registering at all. What else would even be, there's no way to close this. There's that control. It has pass. What happens if we say, what is pass? What is the, let's go to ignore. I don't think it's getting consumed. There was a thing that we had that was consuming stuff, but it's not. Make sure that this is still not working, or not working on purpose. Okay, so it was the pass thing that was causing that. Okay, that's bizarre. Okay, so now that works. It was all this fucking control that covers the whole thing needed to be on pass. But, so that is going to work how we want it to, and it's not, I think it's not passing it through. Let's go. Yeah, it's not passing it through. So that's right. Oh, but this is now. No, it's not. Oh, right. It was this little button. We have to add it to this little button. Do I have that on here? Can click through heroes again. This needs to be over here. Sometimes when you move more than one, yeah, when exporting this project, I thought I put in a thing. What would that be called? This would be like the checkbox or something. Box. Okay, there it says there's 3 of them, huh? All right, so we need to add in one here that, and I think I'm gonna call it a day. I actually have to go to the bathroom, so figure instead of going to the bathroom, you know, it takes me 45 minutes come back and end the thing. I'm just gonna end my stream earlier now that we got that working. Then tomorrow we can finish up. Tomorrow we can get a step forward. But let's add into here the spawn checkbox still allows mouse hovering through it. And we'll hope that I understand what that means. But we're one step. We're, you know, I'm always having issues with the mouse things lately because of how I'm doing the other thing. But whatever, it will all work out in the end. What is our? We're on the main. We're on main. We're not going to do it on main. Let's start a new branch here. We're going to call this branch token hero tokens control. And that's the thing where we're going to have this list. So now we got that one problem done. It should make life a lot easier. Well, hopefully. Added. Well, we actually did. Moved the battle control to top and added 2 controls for tokens. messed with mouse clicking in an annoying way. There we go. Commit that. Upload it. Call it a day. Thank you guys. Thank you, chat, for joining me. Thank you for the raid, Titan. Thank you for the follow, Ma. And I will talk to you guys next time. Have a good